Good morning. I'm Gary MacCausland, Senior Vice President of Operations for VIP, and we're here in our Laconia, New Hampshire location, right on the shores of beautiful Lake Winnipesaukee. Today we're going to be speaking with Sean, our Master Technician, Sean White. He's going to talk through some tips about taking care of your car when your car is in storage, coming out of storage, and just some general great information. Sean's been in business quite a while, so we're going to walk inside and get a chance to introduce you to Sean. We'll take a look at a couple vehicles. You can see we have the store set up for social distancing. The floor's marked off, the chair's marked off, and we've got some protective plexiglass in place. Behind the counter, we have Dennis Ackley, our store manager, been with us about a dozen years, and Mark Robinson, the district manager for the area, special guest here today. Mark's also been here north of a dozen years. Let's go meet Sean. Go find Sean. Come on out into the shop, and I'm going to trade my mask for my safety glasses. All right. And here's Sean right here. How you doing? How you doing, Gary? Good. Good, Sean. Hey, Sean, why don't you tell us, tell folks a little bit about yourself. How long have you been here at VIP?
I've been here almost 11 years. I was with Chrysler Jeep Dodge for about 15 years. So I'm getting up there.
What's this little gold stripe mean on your?
Gold stripe means I'm a master certified technician. Got all 8 of my ASCs, working on my L1. So hopefully soon with that
Advanced drivability.
Yep.
So Sean's a great technician, again, been with us a long time and does a great job helping customers and taking care of the customers.
Yep. Seen a lot of changes for the good.
We're all about educating the customers when
Yep.
they bring their vehicles in, and that's what today's all about, is educating the customers. So
Yep.
let's take got a couple vehicles,
Got a
couple things you want to
vehicles
show
lined up.
us?
Yep. We're going to be talking about what to do, especially with the whole pandemic going on, what to do if you're not driving your vehicle a whole lot or if you're not driving it at all. So we can walk down here. We've got a couple ready to go.
Right.
How is the battery? A lot of times the car sits for more than a couple of weeks, starts getting a weak battery. Sometimes you come out and it won't start at all. So, a good thing to do is take it out for a good drive. Just starting it, letting it run for 10 or 15, 20 minutes will charge the battery to some extent, but it won't give it a nice, deep charge that it really needs to keep the battery up and healthy. So, and at a very minimum, you should have a battery tender on it. If you're going away for a long time, you can't start it or take it for a drive. At least something like that will give it a trickle charge over time. So when you come back, it won't be a dead battery. Now you got to drive it for a couple weeks before you can even get a sticker. Loses all the memory for the radio and everything. So, it's just a good idea to keep it up and charged.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize, Sean, even when the car is not driving, when it's sitting, there are still onboard computers, radio, and so forth that's drawing juice from the battery.
Yeah, a lot more than you think. Everything's trying to keep memory. The PCM's remembering how the car runs, how you drive the car for the transmission. Like he said, the memory for the radio. And a lot of cars nowadays have memory, everything, mirrors, seats, radio, every key, you unlock the car and it remembers all your settings. So if it loses all that memory, it's kind of a pain to reset everything.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, a lot going on, so gives it that nice charge, taking it for a good ride. They really say you should do it once a week. At a minimum, I would do it once every 2 weeks. Take it for a good ride, not just down the street and back. Take it out for a good 10, 15-mile ride. Luckily, we live in an area where there's a lot of nice back roads to go for a ride. Hit a couple main roads, bring it up to 50.
A little ride around the lake would be nice.
Ride around the lake would be great. Even in the winter, it's nice. So that's about it for the battery. And it also gives the alternator a good workout. But we'll go over here. We'll talk about some suspension. So here, we got the brakes, the caliper, we got the struts, a lot of the bushings that move up and down every time you're hitting a bump. So, if it sits for a long period of time, they become real rusty. A lot of times they'll even just seize to each other, So you go to take it for a ride, it won't even move. Now you got to get it towed, and they got to drag it up on the tow truck because your wheels aren't going to spin. So it's just a good idea. Again, bring it out for a ride once a week, every other week. Take it out for a nice ride. It takes care of all the rust that builds up on the calipers, the rotors, the pads. It also lubricates all the seals. A lot of times these things sit for any period of time. It'll build a little rust slip around the piston. It'll end up ripping the seal, or the seal just dries out and start leaking. To prevent it, take it for a nice ride. Same thing with the bushings.
Yeah, the rotors, it's unfinished metal.
It's unfinished. They rust in a couple of days. You'll go out, even sitting in your driveway. If you let it sit for a couple of days, you go out, you can actually see a surface rust going on. And imagine letting that sit for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Yeah. Even if it's a brand new rotor, you're going to have to do brand new brakes again.
It's amazing quick.
It happens quick. I've had to do it to a couple of my own cars. You take it for a ride, all sorts of noises, vibrations, doesn't stop good. I just put those on 6 months ago. Now I'm doing them again. So it's just a good idea.
And anything rubber.
Anything rubber, yeah.
It dries out.
Dries right out. As long as you keep them moving, flexing every week, every couple of weeks, everything stay nice the way it should be. And again, not just, starting it up will charge the battery, but it does nothing for the rest of your car. It doesn't really let you get out there and stretch the car's legs out. Get everything moving up to temperature, the heat, the AC, just keeps everything lubricated and going. The longer it sits, the more things dry out. Same thing with engine seals, valve cover gaskets. You let it sit too long, they dry out, they become brittle. As soon as you start it up, you got good amount of oil leaks going on. I don't remember those last time I parked it last year. Well, that's because all the seals have dried out. They're not getting that, the oil bath that they should be, just to keep them nice and soft. And same thing with tires. If you let tires sit in one spot for too long, they're gonna get a nice flat spot on it. Now you're gonna have this wump, 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 wump. Geez, what's that noise? The only way to get rid of that noise is replacing your tires.
It doesn't go away.
It does not go away. A lot of people I'll burn it and back into round. You're not gonna have a flat spot forever. So a lot of times that'll end up becoming a safety hazard because it'll heat the tire up on the highway. You don't realize it, but going 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, that tire's going to heat up a lot more with a flat spot. Any kind of road noise, you're causing more heat to the tire. And that's how you get a sudden blow up. So.
Also checking the pressure.
Yeah, checking the pressure. Yeah, all tires lose pressure over time. So again, if you're taking it for a ride, you got the TPMS. At least you can catch it early. Hey, stop at the gas station on the way, or a VIP. We do it for free. Pump up them tires, get that light out. You got pumped up tires to drive around on.
The old rule of thumb is, I think I've heard, it's a pound a month.
Yep.
Sort of a tire, just unnatural.
Leads through the beads, the seals and stuff. Sometimes you get lucky and they don't, but most tires are going to lose air over time. It's just a good idea to bring your car out for a nice drive every week, 2 weeks, just to keep it up and running. And then the car doesn't think you forgot about it.
What about your parking brake?
Parking brake, you should use, on a regular basis if you're using your car all the time. If you're going to let it sit for any amount of time, don't put it on, because same thing that we were just talking about the regular brakes. If you put that on, it's forcing it against the rotor, or the inside of the rotor or the drum, and a lot of times they will rust in place. You release it, and they're stuck there. And again, you go to leave, you're like, man, my car won't even move at all. Well, now the e-brake is seized, so we're having it towed in for us to repair it, and could have just been prevented. And again, it's one of those things you got to remember. If you're not using the car, don't put it on. If you're using the car, use it all the time because you want to keep it free moving. If you never use your e-brake, you come in for a sticker, now it's frozen and it doesn't work. Now you're fixing it because you never used it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You got to use it when you know you're going to be taking it on and off, but don't use it if you know you're letting it sit for any amount of time, even a week or two. Don't leave it on. When you go to take your car for a ride, put it on, take it off. Take it for a ride, get back, put it on, take it off. Don't leave it on if you're going to let the car sit for a week, 2 weeks, a couple of months. And I even know I've done it for friends. Even if you know you're leaving for a couple of months to go somewhere, have a friend. Here's my keys. Take my car for a ride once a week. It's got a full tank of gas, which you should always park it with a full tank of gas, because if not, half a tank, quarter of a tank, almost empty, you give it that much more room to build condensation in there, and you get a lot of water. And then you get a lot of running problems, like, geez, the thing stumbles all the time. You got a bunch of water in your gas tank. Sometimes you can take care of it with an additive. I've had times where I've had to drop out gas tanks to take the water out of gas tanks. Animals, it's another thing. Parking your car. If you park in a different spot, you're not going to give those chipmunks, squirrels, mice a nice home that they know right where it is every time, and they build up nests. They leave a mess. They smell if they die in your car. Oh my God, a little mouse will make it smell like you got a body in the trunk. You don't want that. I've had to find a few of them.
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing
not that
with-
uncommon. Pull off an air
It's
filter,
not,
and
yeah.
find a mouse nest in
Yep,
there, or a squirrel
yep.
nest in there.
Same thing with where you park your car. You want to make sure you're not parking under trees, pine sap, bird poop. Two of the most destructive things to clear coat and paint. You don't want to park under trees. Branches fall off from heavy snow. Make sure you're parking where it's nice and open. Pine sap is
Yeah.
deadly to a car paint and clear coat. Seen many claims through the dealership for that. They think it's a paint problem, and it's not. It's pine sap. The paint, the clear coat's lifting right off. Well, nope, that's an insurance thing, and you're paying for it because that's pine sap. So that's about it.
Nice.
Any other questions?
No, I think that's some great information.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, it's good information for people going on vacation and whatnot in
Yeah.
general, but with everything going on with the COVID, people not driving as
A lot
much,
of
staying
people
home
are
more.
driving, and again, people with multiple cars, they're only taking one to go shopping because
Right.
either one of them are working, so one car never gets used.
People working from home.
People
Yeah.
working from home, and a lot of people are going to continue working from home. I know a lot of people that they used to go to a big office building. Well, they figured out that it's a lot less expensive to just have people work at home. So those people are going to continue to work at home and drive their car less and less.
No,
It's
that's
just
and you've kind of alluded to it. That's a great call. If you've got 2 cars in the family and you're working
Yeah.
from home, rotate.
rotate,
You take them.
rotate. Yeah. We got an extra car at home that I take on purpose once or twice a week, just so the rotors don't rust up on me. And I know that if I forget to take it, a couple of weeks go by, all of a sudden I got brake noises because I got to, burnish the brakes because I let them sit too long, and now I got a little surface rust. So it is important, and it helps with, not added extra costs on top of what you're usually using, paying for your car to get fixed anyway. There's no sense in paying for it twice.
No, you can avoid it.
Yep. So
Great. Well, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it.
welcome.
It's a
Yep.
lot of great information.
anytime.